Have you just gotten LiveScope, Active Target, or Mega Live on your boat, and you're realizing that pretty much everybody on the internet is better at it than you are? This forward-facing sonar thing is not easy. It's not as easy as it looks on YouTube, where they cast out, they hit it just right, they put the fish in the boat. It's quite difficult, right? So if you're in that boat, I'm going to talk you through some of the things I think you need to master early on and help explain to you how this thing works in a way that I don't think anybody's ever done before. I want you to imagine like you're holding like a piece of cake out in front of you like this. And that's going to be your transducer beam. It's coming out, it's coming vertically up and down, and it's spanning out, and it gets wider as you get further away from the boat, by quite a bit, actually. When you're out there 100 feet looking at your range, it's like 20 feet wide. It's a huge beam. Now, what I want you to get your head around is thinking about it like an old AM/FM radio. Now, stay with me. I know that probably doesn't make any sense. Now, let's just say I'm dialing in on one of these trees over here, and I want my beam to be perfectly lined up with that tree. It's like dialing in that radio of, say that tree is now station 95.5. That's going to be a radio station that we're trying to dial in. If I'm dialing my radio and I'm at 99.9, I don't hear anything. 99.7, oh, I start to hear it, but it's really staticky. 99.5, boom, it sounds really good. You're dialed in. You get 99.3, it starts to get really staticky again, and 99.1, you can't hear anything. And so you got to go 2 clicks back. And that's really the way you need to look at your LiveScope beam, is when it's really, really hot, you're dialed in, you're on that right frequency, like your AM/FM radio. And if you're off of it, you'll still see it, you'll still kind of hear it, but it's off. Now that's radio number 1. That's going to be your beam to your target. Radio number 2 is your bait. You need to look, they're 2 separate objects, and so they could be in 2 different places within the beam. Does that make sense? You got your piece of cake, you can have a sprinkle on the top and a sprinkle in the middle, and they're 2 different things within 2 different places in the same point of space. So you're dialing in 2 of these radios. Now, when you make a cast and let's just say your fish is really hot, it's really bright return, and you cast out there and your bait's really soft, like it's an A-rig, it's a big bait, and it's kind of fuzzy, that means it's in a different piece of your transducer beam. You're off, you're not dialed in. You got one radio on 100.1, you got the other radio on 99.5, and they're off. That fishes may never see it because you're way off. You're off vertically, you're off to the side, 15 feet over, 5 feet over their head, you're off. And so what you have to get good at is dialing in both radios at the same time. So that comes with casting accuracy. It takes a ton of practice to get that, and really lining it up with your trolling motor. You want to get to the point where you can pretty much no-look cast and know where your foot is and make the cast. And just an example of where I'm at, we fished a night tournament here actually not too long ago, and I subconsciously found myself making perfect casts to my LiveScope screen in the dark. Like I'm seeing fish and I just cast it out there and it lines right up and I'm like, damn, I can't see anything. I can't see the water, I can't see my trolling motor head. And so that's the level that you need to get to with your muscle memory in your foot and your hand, that hand-eye coordination, to pretty much make no-look casts and get that thing exactly where it needs to be. The second aspect of that is going to be boat control. You've got a light aluminum boat, you've got a heavy glass boat, they're all going to respond differently to the conditions. This boat gets pulled around a lot, and so on a windy day it's extra hard. Even on my 17-foot aluminum, I got an LVS 32, it's super hard. It's expert mode to try to line up your LiveScope on a light aluminum boat, kayak, things like that. It's much, much harder because the boat is just going to move so much faster than everything else. And so when you make those casts, you need to factor in what angle your boat is. If I'm here and I'm casting at a fish where this giant stump is, hopefully you can see that, that's off, I don't know, 15 degrees. But if I've got a wind pushing me this way, I need to constantly turn my beam to line up with that. And it's also going to pull your bait in a different direction, right? If you cast past it, it may pull your bait right into it because you've moved across it. So you need to look at how everything is moving in space. The other thing that's moving is your fish, right? So let's just say you line it up, you make the perfect cast and it still doesn't look right. Well, that fish just moved 20 feet over there. He's swimming. He's not just chilling right there. He's swimming across trying to find something to eat. So you've got a lot of dynamic factors that you need to get your head around. But the first thing you need to get down is how this thing works, get your casting right, and then work on your boat control, your muscle memory. I know I just said a lot of things. It's hard, okay? So if you're struggling, it's taken me 3-4 years of weekend fishing to really say, I'm pretty damn good with it. I may not be on the best fishery today. I may not go find the best fish all the time, but if I do line it up, I'm pretty potent with it, and it takes a long time to get there. Especially if you're doing it by yourself. If you don't have buddies that are really good with it, or you don't have buddies that are using it every weekend, they're tournament anglers, it's going to take you a while to figure this thing out. Just letting you know that you're not alone. That's where I was at. The level of commitment that you need to this is pretty high. You need to really focus in like you're learning a new language. And what I mean by that is it's pretty much a visual language. You're looking at things, dots and shapes and pixels that don't really make any sense, and you have to interpret subconsciously, what does that mean? What is it? Is it a bass? Is it a crappie? Is it gar? Is it catfish? Is it gizzard shad? What is it? And be able to just do all this while your boat's moving, while you're changing baits, while you're doing all this stuff. There's a lot going on, and you need to get fluent with this new language. The best way I can explain it is like when you first see the LiveScope screen, it's almost like Chinese. Like, you know, you're looking at water. To me, it's Chinese. People can read it. I cannot. And you're looking at water, you know things are swimming in it, you know things are not swimming in it, and you're not really sure what to do with that. But you want to get to the point where it's fluent. And I guess the best example I can give is when I've traveled to Europe, Italy, Germany, France. There's certain words that I can pick up. I don't speak any of those languages, but I can read a sign sometimes and go, oh, that means whatever, the cathedral's that way. I don't know. It's that whatever cathedral. Because there's certain letters that are familiar. And so as you go from, in my case, Chinese, when you first get LiveScope, to maybe French that you can kind of read, to now, to me, when I look at the screen, it's pretty much English. Maybe a little bit broken sometimes on some of the species identification, but I know what I'm looking at. I can separate what I want, what I don't want really fast. I'm like, that's a school of hybrids. Nope, that's a gar. Nope, that's a long catfish. And I can, when I first put this thing in the water in this lake, I thought there was giant fish everywhere. Turns out there's a lot of giant gar and giant catfish. Just to know. So hopefully that makes sense to you, and I hope you have a new way to think about it. Think about it like you're tuning your radio. Don't take your foot off the pedal. If you don't have a pedal in your bass fishing, you should probably change that. Look at all the top level live scopers. They all run their foot on the pedal and pretty much never lift off of it because you're constantly dialing in that radio with your foot. And then think of it like that language, right? You got to try to interpret it, and you got to test things and feel it out, right? Maybe you need to go out with shiners one day. Get you some minnows and just start flipping them around at everything you see. If it's a predator fish, they'll eat it. If it's a catfish, if it's a gar, if it's a bass, if it's a crappie, and you flip it out there, they'll eat it. And you'll start to learn what crappie look like, how they set up vertically. You'll look at what sand bass look like, how they school up, or you'll just start to get it so much faster the more you immerse yourself in it and try to learn it. So again, I hope you learned something. If you did, like and subscribe to the channel. We're probably going to do a lot more LiveScope content. I think that's an area where I can help you get to the next level. Like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.